Hey everybody, welcome back to All the Mods 8, and today we're going to start off with a little bit of enchanting. I know our armor here is pretty good, it's got some pretty good enchantments on it and stuff, but I really just want to get to the point where I have armor that I'm happy with for potentially the rest of the pack. So I think what we're going to do that, I know in the pack there is, if you come into the All the Modium section here, but I think I actually want to do something a little different, and I've pinned over here some of the armor I'm looking at getting. And that is the Supremium armor from Mystical Agriculture. And this stuff is actually really easy for us to make right now. All it requires is to start us off is a diamond chestplate surrounded by some pretty easy mystical stuff. And we basically just have to nested crafted our way all the way up to the point where we get the Supremium chestplate. And even past here, there's actually in this pack the Awakening mechanic, which actually lets you apply awakened ingots and such from Mystical Agriculture to further increase the power of this armor. So for example, this is 10 armor, 3 armor toughness. We can take that up to 12 armor, 3.5, but then also you get a set bonus where you get plant growth AoE while you're in the area. So that can help us even speed up some of our other crops that might be growing a little slower. I think for right now, I'm okay with just getting the Supremium set. It's pretty comparable to the All the Modium set of armor. But what's also really nice about this stuff is you can apply what's called augments to it. There's a bunch of different augments that we can see over here on the right-hand side, and you do that by using the what's called the tinkering table, which is really cheap. But what we can do with our high tier gear here is actually apply the flight augment. And this is a little expensive, but we have a lot of wither skeletons, so I'm not worried about the nether star aspect. And this is essentially just going to give us creative flight right off the bat, which basically means that we don't even have to worry about going down the at the end of the getting started to the angel ring, which is quite an expensive endeavor. There's a pretty easy way to get creative flight. And now that I'm looking at this, the angel ring actually drains experience over time by using it. So this is a really expensive way to get creative flight, whereas we can just use the flight augment and be pretty much set for the rest of the pack. But also on top of this, we can also apply enchantments to this armor. So this can receive all the normal enchantments you can normally give to armor. And to do that, I do actually want to use a mechanic from the Apotheosis mod. So there's this item called the Enchantment Library. It's kind of a underrated item. I think maybe not underrated, but underappreciated item. And you wouldn't even notice it necessarily unless you crafted it and knew what it did. But I'm going to craft this thing up and show you. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is do this. So level 80 is what we're looking at. So I'm hoping that we can get ourselves to level 80 by just going down here and finding... Now, let me just make sure that all of this is on. Everything is running. Okay, so I'm just going to start siphoning off some of this experience until we're around level 80. Okay, so we got ourselves up to level 80 here. That didn't take too long, just sitting there. And I'm going to see what we were going to get off of, for example, this book. So here we got Unusing Infinity, Frostbite, and Splitting on a book, which is pretty good. Now, what I think what we're going to be able to do now is take this book and see here there is a 2 slots. So one of these is for inputting books into the library, and one is for drawing items or books out. So for example, if we place this in here, now we have all the different enchantments that we can possibly get from that book, and they're all split into individual enchantments. So say for example, all we wanted was an infinity book. All we'd have to do is put a book in here. Sorry, not a book in there. We'd want to grab one like this, and bam, it takes out just the infinity book. Now we can put it back in just like so. But basically, this is a great way to just grab whatever books we need. Now, that might sound a little confusing, but it essentially just lets us put in a bunch of lower level enchantment books, and after a while of putting those types of books in, we can pull out the higher level books nice and easy. So it's going to make getting levels of protection and fortune and all that much simpler. Now, this technique only works on books. With the library, you can come in here and just enchant tools. So if I come in here, I'm not even a huge fan of this pickaxe. And let's see if we can re-enchant this pickaxe. So, for example, if we go here, we're going to need level 80 again. So I'm going to have to go get a few more levels quick. So if we come in here and put the pickaxe in, we can enchant it just like this. And this gave us Efficiency 4, Soulbound, Silk Touch, Teleportation, which is pretty great. But we can't put then this pickaxe into the library to dump those enchantments off. Well, we'd have to take them off in a different way, which we can do later on if we want to. But right now, I think if we just enchant a bunch of these books, I think we'll just try and see if we can get ourselves some more levels, and we're gonna just see what kind of books we can get. In case you're wondering how I'm getting all of these levels really quick, this is under the Vindicator one where I have it at max speed for the emeralds, and this tank here fills up of experience super fast. So I just have a double tap set up right now, and that's just letting me come down here and turn these on and off when I want to. Okay, so we've done a little bit more getting enchantments into the library, but I think now what we're going to do is use some of our diamonds and craft up the starter diamond gear that we're going to need to make the armor from Mystical Agriculture. So I'm thinking what we do is we upgrade these all the way, and that's just going to be a lot of nested crafting, so I'm not going to show that on video because that's going to just take a while, but I'm pretty sure we have plenty of actual resources here to make this stuff, because we have we have 138 supremium and it's still coming in. We have blocks of insanium. Sorry, I meant insanium here. And then supremium we have tons as well. So we should have no problems upgrading all this gear. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. And there we go. So we have all of the supremium armor crafted up. So if we take a look at the armor in the enchanting setup here, right now we have an issue where we haven't quite maxed out the Eterna level, which is basically the level of enchanting you're allowed. And with the current shelf setup, I think this is the max. So we can only get, as it says there, a max of 40 out of 50 total. And to fix that problem, we have to get what's called the Draconic end shelf, because this actually will allow us to max out on the 50. Now, we only actually need then 2 of these to max it out, because it adds 5, but I think that should be doable. The only thing we need now is this dragon head. Now, right now we have the end shelves okay, but the dragon head itself is a little bit more tricky, because normally you can find the dragon head on some ships in the end ships. And I think right now how it stands, we can also get the dragon egg essence and use this to craft, that's pretty cheap. We can use that to craft the dragon head itself, because what we would need to do is put a dragon egg seed over top of the dragon egg crux, which is, again, this is pretty cheap. We might have to fight the dragon one more time. And there it is. So here we go. I think you can shoot this in the top. Just like so. Now this bow I have rapid fire is pretty good. I can quick charge this thing super fast. So this really does a ton of damage. Like the dragon's already almost at half health. There we go. There it is, the dragon itself. Down again. Done that a few times already. But that means we should have gotten some extra dragon scales. There we go, 8 dragon scales. And I think that's actually enough. We need 4 for the crux, and I believe 4 for the seeds. Yeah, that's good. So, okay, so we are all set we will, of course, grab the dragon egg. Have some torches with me. Always got to grab the dragon egg. All right, awesome. So we have ourselves everything we need now. Nice. So we have the crux and we have the seeds. Let's maybe put this right here for now. That will be right here. And if we type in here dragon, yep, there we can see it starting to come in. We have 5 essence right now, and that will grow over time for sure. So we want 2 of these dragon heads. So I think what we should do is make some of this plate, and this should be definitely easy to do. I don't think we need a lot of... So soul dust. Do we not have any soul dust? I think that involves melting down some of this soul stone. So let's craft this dragon head now. So we have 10 of the essence. Now that's going to become more as time goes on. All right, so we have everything we need. We'll get a blank skull, and that will give us a dragon head. Okay, so this should be all the dragon heads we need to now make the Draconic end shelf. Then we can make 1, 2 Draconic end shelves. So if we come back over to our enchanting setup, oopsie. If we now replace 2 of these pearlescent end shelves with the Draconic, now that is going to give us a perfect setup. We have 50 out of 50 Eterna. Great. Now, my only other problem here is the rectification number. When we're going to enchant, the quanta modulates the power range, and rectification lessens the negative effects. And right now, our current reduction potential is minus 100%, which is quite annoying. We want to get rid of that completely if we can. To get rid of the rectification, to get that, we have to add rectification to our setup. And the only way to do that is to add these bookshelves that also add rectification. So the shelf of end fused rectification is what we're looking for, because that is a 20% increase per shelf. So that means we would have to only add 5 of them. So we'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 more probably in the back here. And then we would have a fully rectified setup. Now, the problem with this is we need to get an infused sea shelf. This can be a bit difficult because I don't think I have much in the way of pufferfish, and there might be a solution we can come up with in terms of the fish essence. How much does this... If we go and kill some fish or use the soul extractor, we can then create fish essence. So we do not have a ton of fish. Now, the thing we can do with this is just go in, kill a bunch of fish, and then use the soul extractor, which we haven't actually gotten to use yet. So maybe this is a good time to get into this as well. Normally, in mystical agriculture, you use mainly just seeds for resources that you want, but there's also a way to get mob drops, and that comes from using the soul extraction method. If we look in mystical agriculture here, it shows us the way. There are basically 2 paths along this main path of mystical agriculture. There's the top side here, which is all the resources that we're gonna want, like, you know, nickel, iron, etc. And down here is all the mobs that have their own specific seeds as well. So say, for example, we wanted to get some creeper drops. We could, in fact, use soul jars that are full of creeper stuff to get that working as well. Now, to get these soul jars, you have to either, 1, use the soul extraction technique where you put in something that mob drops a bunch of times, and then that'll fill up the jars themselves. The jars are made... I'm not sure exactly how the empty soul jars are made. Here we go. So it's just some soul glass and some soulium. So in this case, we might want to make a little bit of this, because we do want, I believe we need 4 jars. It just requires some basic things that we've already made in the past. Just like this. And that is fine. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Perfect. Okay, so we have all 4 of these jars. we can now use to make fish essence. So we need to fill these with a bunch of fish products. So it looks like the tropical fish give half per jar. So we're going to need 12, and then we also need 4 jars. So we're going to need quite a few. Okay, so we have all the fish we need, I believe. So if we put this here, we also want to then dump in the fish. Nope, that's not right. Oh, right, the jar goes there. We put some coal in here for fuel. It needs fuel and power, I think. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't. So you can use coal as fuel. You don't actually have to hook it up to power, I guess. So that's kind of nice, actually. Not the fastest process in the world, but once we have all 4 of these, then we can craft them together to get some fish seeds. Great, so now we have the fish essence in here, and we can use this to craft as many pufferfish as we want. So that means we have to craft a couple of these, I think 5 in total. And that means then we have to then infuse them, and we also have to figure out a way to get some honeycomb. I haven't done any bee stuff at all. I don't think... No, I haven't done anything with bees, so I think we're going to have to get some... I think we can grab a couple bees with these bee cages. So we might just have to go around and look around a bunch to find one. But I think we'll go do that right now. On second thought, actually, I think we can make bees nests come to us. I think we can grow trees, and as long as they're beside flowers, there's a, I think like 5% chance that a bee nest will spawn in the tree. Aha, there we go. We got the beehive. Nice. I think there should be 2 bees inside of here, I believe. Yeah, so let's just take all these down. Oh, they are running away. No bees, come back. Can I right click on these guys and put them in the cage? I can. Okay, nice. How about you? Let me grab you 2. Perfect. And that should be able to put them down and pick them up whenever I want. Okay, so I think what we have to do now is set up a little bit of a bee area, because we are going to need a little bit of honey. Now, I can make the honey agglomeratio. I need 4 of these to make the seed, and that will then solve our honey problem, I believe. I think this can be crafted into, yeah, honey bottles and comb. So we're going to need the essence, which means we need 8 honeycomb total and 8 honey bottles. So I think 1 of these will probably be enough. I'm just going to put down a campfire. Like, it's not going to be the fastest thing in the world. But I think if we just let these guys do their thing for a bit. So all we have to do now is throw in the campfire, which apparently I got an achievement for. I have had a problem in the past with bees burning in the campfire, so we are going to make sure they are safe by covering it up like this. And then we just really need 1 flower for them to pollinate. I'm just going to put 2 in here, and then we will get ourselves a door. Okay, so let's let these guys down in here. Let's also, if we can, breed them up once more, because that might help speed it up a little bit. We just need to breed them with some roses. I clicked on the wrong thing, of course. Oh, he is inside the block. There we go. Okay. You 2 should now breed. Hey, what did I get? Spirit of birth. Interesting. Oh, is there a way you can kind of like summon animals? Interesting. I haven't really gotten much into Nature's Aura, but interesting. So yeah, there is a bee, and they should be doing their thing. Okay, well, I'm going to let these guys do that. I'm going to manually probably harvest it. I'm only going to have to harvest the honeycomb, I think, 3 times, because it'll get 3 per harvest. But I will grab 8 bottles also, so I just have them out and available. Once we have this, we can combine them with some amethyst to get the shelf of seabound rectification. Can amethyst be grown in some way? Amethyst essence. Perfect. This is exactly what we are going to do. Okay, so I did the sea shelf infusing, which was just enchanting it at the enchanting table again. But But now, once we're here, we're waiting for the honeycomb. We're still waiting to get some honey blocks and some bottles, and we're gonna make the seeds for it. But in the meanwhile, I'm trying to get everything prepared in advance, and it looks like the one after this one is going to require gilded blackstone. Now we need, I think, what, 20 pieces for each, and we need 5 of these. So yeah, that's going to require a decent bit. But that's okay, because I think we can just end up going, I have a structure compass here, and I think we can just end up going to the Nether and locating a bastion. Now we're looking for, here it is, some of this gilded blackstone. So this is actually going to make the piglins angry when you mine it. So we're going to have to kind of be a little careful. Now this stuff is rare intentionally, I believe, that there isn't a ton of it around. So finding it is good luck. There might be a little more up here. Oh, there's just a piglin brute there. Yeah, so we can see we get a bit here. Looks like the blaze will also spawn here, which is kind of annoying. There is not as much in here as I would have thought. Maybe we can get to the chest, and maybe there's some in the chest, but let's get rid of these guys. Okay, now I did see a bunch of it up here. This is where we're gonna get it, I think. Bunch down here. Okay. Almost there, I think. 18, need 2 more. We gotta be able to find 2 more around here somewhere. Oh, nice. There we go. We got it all. Alright, let's go back. Okay, after a little bit of AFKing here, I just got enough honey here, so now we can craft all 4 of these honey agglomeratios. And we got ourselves some honey seeds. Okay, and we are crafting up our final one here. There we go. So let's go see what that does for our setup here. And now we should be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should, I believe, we have 100% rectification. Reduction potential is 0. Nice. So now this is a very expensive craft. And what we can do, oh, here we are, the Shelf of Sight, I believe is what it is. And I think we only need maybe 2 of these. Shelf of Masterful Sight. So we can put 2 of these on, and then we're basically all set. A little bit more crafting, but I'll get those crafted up here. And now that we've put down these Shelf of Masterful Sights, we can actually see most of the stuff that's going to be coming on this here. No protection on that though. So let's roll something else. I've got the achievement Draconic Enchanting, enchanted item at level 100. Wow. That's an expensive one. But the nice thing is once you're up at level 100, it only drops your levels down to 97. So getting re-rolls then is pretty easy. But this one rolled protection 7, which is really great. But this is also a time that we can go and grab some books, which is what I'm planning on doing now, and using them in the enchantment library, because not only will we be able to enchant our gear right now, we can also apply other books enchantments to it as well. And that'll be great, because here we can see, like, look at the things we're going to be getting on some of this stuff. Fortune 5. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of get all of our gear rolled something decent first. Protection 6 isn't bad. And then once we do that, then I'm going to start working on some books. Okay, so I have all the gear now rolled. So I have protection on pretty much everything. This one only has protection 6, but these ones all have protection 7 and 8. I'm not sure what the maximum protection level is. So it looks like protection 8 is max. So these are maxed out. And all these have these red enchantment life mending, which is, I think it's a curse, but those are removable. And I will show you guys how to remove them really quick, and it's really straightforward. The Apotheosis mod has a item called a prismatic cobweb, and it can be used to remove all curses. And it's actually pretty cheap. It just requires some prismarine and 1 cobweb. And if you don't have a lot of cobwebs, I think you can craft them using string and honey like this. So, but yeah, I'm going to now apply this to all of my gear to remove the curse. And then we can, from there, apply books. Oh, it's very expensive to decurse them, so maybe I'll do that after I've done with the books. I'll do that at the very end probably, but that's like 30 levels each. But let's see the books we can get in here. Protection 7 book, like straight up. Great. Let's do that. Okay, so I've made a couple of books here for each of these pieces of gear. Just mainly some protection and breaking, just to kind of increase them a little bit. And they could be, I think, better, but I think this is going to be plenty strong for what we need. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, there we go. We are all set, and I think we're actually going to change into this gear. Look at us, all shiny looking. Wow, what an upgrade. And then we got a lot of extra health as well too, because of the vitality. So we can say goodbye to our netherite set of gear there, and we're all good. Now, I still do today want to get to this, because I do think we can make the flight augment now, because this is very, very cheap. So the unattuned augment here is what we need to start. We also need 4 wither skeleton skull, or 4 nether stars, I should say, which means we're gonna have to fight the wither 4 times. Now I have a ton of wither skulls, so I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grab just enough for all the fights we're gonna do, which is 12. I am going to do the cheese under the bedrock just because it's the easiest way to do it. I could do the fight normally, but I think it wouldn't even be a matter of taking damage. It would just be annoying to try and hit him over and over, and he might make a mess of stuff. So I think I'm just going to do the simple cheesy way for now. There's going to be better ways to farm the wither, in a little bit. But just for now, this will make it easy. We're just going to mark out the spot where he has to go. I believe the tail has to be right in the middle of the bedrock portal. On top of that, we're going to put the soul sand like so, and then the wither skeletons just like this. Now if I did this wrong, he's going to break out, and I'll have to fight him anyway, but it's not a big deal in that case. So we're just gonna back up a little, let him do his explosion. And there we go. I think he is trapped. And there we go. Our first nether star. And some other stuff from the other mods here, and the heart baubles. I actually got to get into the heart baubles mod. I keep forgetting this is even a thing. I don't even know. Do I have one on here? I don't think I have any heart bauble stuff. No, I don't. So we'll have to get into that at some point. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to do that 3 more times. And there we go. We have our 4th and final nether star. Back home we go. Now we have everything we need. We just need some supremium essence, which we have. And this is essentially our way into creative flight. I'm just surprised considering how expensive it is to get into creative flight here, and that it uses experience. Like, this is, this is definitely the not as efficient way, shall we say, to get creative flight. But anyway, let's see if this thing does the job. And flight augment. There it is. Nice. So in order to apply this to our gear, we do have to craft the tinker station, and we'll put it upstairs beside, or just here for now. So now we have to take off our chest plate. I believe the chest plate is where the flight augment goes in, just like so. And all you have to do is drop it into the slot and just take the chest plate back out, and it says there that we have flight. So we have creative flight. This will make doing things around the base a whole lot easier, and good for building and stuff too. I did find the jetpack was a little annoying to control. I also think I'm going to take off that double jump bauble now. The cloud in a bottle. I think that's kind of just going to be more of a nuisance than a help. So we'll take that thing off for now. Now what's really cool about this mod specifically, and the armor that we're wearing, is it can be upgraded even further. This armor here can still be upgraded to the awakened version for one, but also it can take a whole bunch of other augments. So if we look up mystical agriculture and type in augment, here are all the augments that we can get on our gear. We can get an attack 3 augment, an AoE augment. We can get strength 3, wither resistance, health boost, so even more health, absorption, which is kind of like just a good defensive one, mining fatigue resistance, etc., speed 3, which is really great. All sorts of cool stuff in here. I haven't really played around with it too much. Night vision augment, which is really handy. So yeah, we definitely want to get into all of these. If we take a look at the Tinker's table here again, we can see that if we say we put our pants in here, it only has one available slot that we can use to upgrade this gear. However, if we upgrade to the Awakened tier, I believe that this becomes 2 available slots. So now then we'd be able to put in, say, something like health boost and speed upgrade. So we can kind of mix and match augments that way, and we can even further make our gear super overpowered. But that's definitely going to be for another episode, because that in itself is a bit of work, and I think we're going to be totally fine with what we have right now. So in terms of this being an end goal for the for this part of the quest line, the getting creative flight, I'm not really excited to get to this point, because I don't really need that. I mean, we are definitely still going to do all of this stuff. We have done a lot of it already, like the dragon, and etc. But there are some things in between here that we can tidy up and stuff. And this realistically isn't too expensive once you start getting more of this aldomodium and such in higher quantities, as well as in elytra. I can do the same upgrading and such with my sword and pickaxe. I know I can take this, and I can even get the mystical agriculture version of this tool. I think there's a pickaxe and such. Yeah, there's a sword, a supremium sword, supremium pickaxe, etc. So I might end up doing that instead of the aldomodium, because I'm pretty sure this is also unbreakable. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed it. Just as a reminder, if you guys do want to stay updated on when I'm posting a new video, or just have a good conversation and talk about what everyone's doing in Minecraft and have a good time, then hop on over to the new Discord I just created for the community and stay up to date on what's happening. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.